Well, Zach Parker, it's official. It's John Ryder next. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm buzzing with it. Obviously, been out over a year. It's been hard this past year, obviously with not fighting, Andre pulling out, and obviously not getting paid and that. So yeah, we're here now. John Ryder just signed the contract. So yeah, can't wait for the fight now.
Is this the fight that you need? Is this the one that sort of puts you on that next level?
Yeah, 100%. It's been in there with all the best. So I just got to go out and do a number on him, and then I'll arrive on the world scene, won't I? So yeah, it's going to be a good fight. At least he's got the balls to come in and fight me, unlike Andrade. So yeah, it's going to be a good fight. He always comes to bring it. So if both come bring it and meet in the middle, it's going to be a good fight for fans.
Is he someone you've kept an eye on in your career? Because he's always been sort of, within the last couple of years, lurking around those WBO rankings as well. Have you sort of kept an eye and thought maybe it'll happen, but also there's the whole Queensberry matchroom thing? Like, what have you been thinking?
Yeah, I have kept my eye on him. Obviously, at first he was at middleweight, so it weren't really noticeable then, but now he's come up, he's got a few good wins. He had a good fight with Colin Smith, so yeah, definitely kept my eye on him and thought we'd probably meet down the line. And now here we are. Frank's the man who's pulled it through, so yeah, I can't wait until fight night now.
He does back you, doesn't he, Frank? You think about like he was putting you up in Derby until Andrade pulled out, and he's obviously made this happen.
Yeah, that's a sign of like trust. Like I trust him and he trusts me. Obviously, we had the Andrade fight in Derby. It'd been good to get the John Ryder fight in Derby, but obviously the season started now. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good night for the fans. Like I said, he's going to bring it, and I'm going to bring it, and yeah, may the best man win.
What happened with Demetrius Andrade? What's your understanding of the whole situation?
I ain't got a clue, to be fair. He said he got a shoulder injury the first time, and then the second time just didn't want it. I just think it's a shit house, really. Didn't want the park smoke, did he?
Well, we had the press conference, remember, and he was up on the screen, and he didn't seem to be fazed by you then. I mean, he was chatting away.
Yeah, he wasn't standing in front of me, was he? Yeah, he says it all when he didn't come over for like a proper face-off or anything. He thought, oh, I think he probably got another plan to try and fight one of the big guys. When he come up, I bet he thought he was going to fight Canelo, go straight into that fight, but WBO backed me, and obviously he had to fight me first, but obviously didn't go his way.
Do you think it could be one of them where he didn't really know who you were, and then he had a look, and he thought, don't know about that? Probably,
yeah. I had a couple of American sparring partners in for the first time I was fighting, and they probably went back and told him, I don't think you should be fighting this lad, you know what I mean? So I don't really blame him, to be fair, because he'd have got knocked out.
You confident you would have knocked him out?
100%. I'm confident. Whoever I go in and fight with, I'm confident I can knock him out. I got that freakish power.
Well, yeah. I mean, we saw that against. We've seen that every time that you've boxed for Queensberry and Frank.
Yeah.
Marcus Morrison last time out as well.
Yeah.
It's been a while now, right?
It's been a while. I just can't wait to get back in there now. It's been too long. Obviously, this last year has been a bit frustrating, not fighting. And obviously he's been messing me about, to be fair. But I'm glad Frank and that's stayed with me, and we've got the fight now for the WBO Interim as well.
Yeah,
so.
that's a big carrot. So you've got the WBO Interim on the line. We've just seen Joe Joyce and Joe Parker box for the same title. And what are you expecting to happen here? Because obviously Canelo is the full champion. Do you think he'll stick around for some Parker/Ryder smoke, or do you think he'll vacate and you'll become full champion?
Well, he said he wants to fight in the UK before, and this is probably the fight who's the best in the UK. He's number 3 or something. I'm number 1 in WBO. So if you don't fight, I have to vacate, and then once I win the interim, I'll get made straight to world champion. So yeah, I want the Canelo fight anyway. I think he looks old at the minute, and he's there to be taken.
What did you think of his fight with Golovkin?
I only watched highlights, but Golovkin looks old, and I think Canelo, if he was like how he says he is at the top level, he should have really stopped him. Golovkin's like 40 years old now, coming up a weight as well, so it ain't his natural weight. I reckon he should have stopped him, but Seeing his fight with Bivol, he got caught out there. And yeah, I plan to do it if I do fight him one day.
Do you think we've seen the best of Canelo then?
I think so. He's getting on a bit. I think he's like 33 or something like that. I think he's just come out of his prime. I think he's in his prime against, obviously, Callum Smith, Billy Joe and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think probably just coming out of it now and coming on to his later stages.
It's interesting you mentioned that he wants to box in the UK. He has said that before, and there was talks of him and John Ryder potentially if he was going to come to the UK.
Yeah.
He can't be boxing John Ryder if he's just been beaten by Zach Parker, though, right? So you'll be very much in the frame.
That's it. Yeah. If he wants to come over the UK, it's going to be the winner out of this fight, and there ain't going to be no other winner than Parker. So yeah, it should be a good fight anyway. Why it lasts is, but I reckon I'll get a stoppage with Ryder.
I was going to say, how do you beat him? You're confident you'll stop John Ryder?
I think he's just a bit too small for super middleweight. Obviously, he's boxed some super middleweights, but they've took him lightly. I think they're going to beat him easy. It's an hard fight for anyone if your fight is fight, which is he wants to come in close. It's like 5'9" something. When you're a bigger guy, you've got to box and move and fight when you want to fight. So yeah, I see it going maybe a late stoppage. That's why I'm seeing it.
It sounds like, from what you were saying there, it sounded like you were referring to the Callum Smith fight, where he's significantly bigger than John Ryder. You saw at the face-off at the weigh-in and the fight itself, and you feel as though you'd box a different fight to what Callum Smith did. Yeah,
I think he's just styles make fights, and I don't think Callum Smith can. We can obviously box sometimes on the outside, but he always gets drawn into a firefight, which is always in close. And when you're boxing John Ryder, you don't want to be going in close. That's where he's doing his best work. So yeah, I wouldn't fight the same fight as Callum Smith. I'd fight my way, and that's just to be awkward and then start putting my punches together and maybe a late stoppage.
Do you think he beat Callum Smith?
I thought he just nicked it, to be fair, but when you're not the only fighter and he's not the champion, and Callum Smith's champion, so he's going to just nick it, isn't he? So if it's a close fight, they're always going to give it to the champion, isn't they?
He just boxed Danny Jacobs in his last fight as well. Do you think he beat Danny Jacobs? That was another one.
I thought that was close, to be fair. It's close. They both looked their age. That's what I thought. Both getting on a bit, and yeah, it was a close fight, but I reckon Jacobs just nicked it. So but it was in London, in John Ryder's backyard, so he's got to give it to the home fight, hasn't he?
It's interesting. So you had Ryder beating Smith but losing to Jacobs.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Styles make fights.
Yeah.
I thought the Callum Smith fight was a lot more exciting. That one with Jacobs was a bit boring, I thought. It got a bit lively at the end, but first 6-7 rounds, I thought Jacobs won every round. So.
What about the age factor here? I didn't realise John Ryder's he's 34 now. You're 28. Do you feel as though the timing? Or?
I'm just coming to my prime, really. They always say you come into your prime like 28 to 31, something like that. And yeah, that's what I think John Ryder's just done, is come into his prime when he boxed Callum Smith and that. A lot like the Canelo, come into his prime and just going out of it. And it's my time to step up now and take it on for the world scene, for the British, for the super middleweight. So yeah, I just can't wait for the fight. When I was boxing Andrade, I sold over 3,000 tickets on my own, and I think the stadium did over 10,000. So yeah, we should get a lot of the Rams coming down, and we'll take over London, won't we?
100%. So I don't know if you're one for messages down the camera. I don't think you are. But look, if you want to, he's there. You can tell him something, or you can tell me. Just tell us what you think is going to happen in this fight, how it's going to go. Yeah,
I just think it's going to be a great fight for fans. He always brings it to the table. I do as well. So yeah, let's meet in the middle and let the best man win.